Many objects in paintings are made of shapes. These shapes are often geometric shapes. Geometric shapes can be made using special math rules, and not all shapes are geometric, but many common shapes are. And most of them have names like triangles, squares, circles, rectangles. They're all geometric shapes. And then, of course, some artists prefer to use active lines, which are used to create movement in a picture and give it like a feeling of excitement. And they also use active lines when they want the viewer to feel like the art is moving and animated. Sometimes they'll use diagonals, zigzags, and curved lines. Those are all examples of active lines. For today's art project, we're going to learn to combine shapes with active lines to create this awesome image of two fish swimming underwater. You can see the green seaweed along the bottom. Those are active lines. So are those wavy, light, white lines in the background to kind of show the motion of the water. But then there's also shapes, like the circular bubbles that are coming out of the mouths of these fish, as well as the fish's body, their lips, their fins. This is going to be awesome. All right, here we go. Okay, so what you're going to need today is a pencil. You're also going to need a sheet of paper. If you have colored paper, all the better. If you don't have colored paper, maybe get out some crayons and color the paper any color you want. And of course, you're going to need something circular to trace. Homes are usually filled with all kinds of things that are circular. Plates, lids. Ask a grown-up if you need help finding something. Your first circular shape should be about the size of your hand when your fingers are all spread out. Okay, it's time to begin. Remember, hold your traceable circular shape with your free hand, and with your other hand, of course, use your pencil to carefully trace around your shape. Once you've done that, grab a pair of scissors, and it's time to cut out your circular shape. Remember, cut carefully. Once you've cut out your circle, cut a straight line from any edge to as close as you can the exact center of your circular paper. Okay, you now have kind of two flaps, like a Pac-Man mouth. I'd like you to get out some glue, and remember, dot, dot, not a lot. Place some glue on one side of the cut, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take the other side and glue over on top of it. And what'll happen is it'll make your circle three-dimensional. It'll pop up like a teeny tiny cone. Hold the two flaps over each other and make sure you smooth them out. Hold the two flaps on top of each other for at least 10 seconds to make sure that you've now got kind of like a circus tent shape, a really flat looking cone. Next, get out a different color paper. And remember, if you only have white paper at home, that's totally okay. Bust out some crayons and color a sheet of paper a different color. Once you have that done, take a pencil, and I'd like you to draw a bean shape, kind of like a cheese puff. A bean shape is curved on the right side, and then on the left side it kind of has a dent. This is going to be your fish face. After you're done drawing your bean, I now want you to give me your very best heart. In fact, I need 4 of them. Make them about half as big as your bean shape. Once you've drawn all 4, get a black crayon, a black marker, or even a Sharpie, and I'd like you to draw 3 or 4 lines that come from the bottom point of the heart and go up, but not all the way to the top, just maybe about halfway. Oh, and only draw those lines on 3 out of the 4 hearts. Leave one of those hearts completely blank. Then, cut out your bean and your 4 hearts. Your bean shape gets glued onto one part of your circle. This is your fish's face, as I mentioned before. Remember, dot, dot, not a lot. We don't want a gooey, gloopy mess. So just put a few dots on there, spread it out with the orange part of your glue bottle, and make sure that it's nice and spread out to the edge of your circle. Then you're going to want to take the 3 hearts with the lines that you placed on them, and these are all going to be fins. only put the glue toward the bottom of the heart where it comes to a nice point. Don't forget, put them underneath your circle, not on top. So glue those fins underneath the circle. You're going to need one on the opposite side of your bean shape. That's your tail fin. You're going to need another one, and that one goes on top. And then you're going to need one more. The third heart with the lines on it goes on the bottom. And finally, there's that fourth heart that doesn't have any lines on it. Those are your fish's lips. You want to glue it in the same place and make sure that the top two curves of the heart are sticking out, and that way it looks like lips. Now, if you just so happen to have any googly eyes at your house, this is a great opportunity to use them. Just glue them right on top of your bean shape. But if you don't, grab a white piece of paper, cut out an eye, use any color marker that you want. I'm going to use black, and I'm going to color in a pupil. Put a little bit of dot, dot, not a lot glue on there, and place it on top of your bean shape, and you've got a fish. Now it's time to make some seaweed. Get out a pencil, a marker, whatever it is that you prefer, and I want you to draw 2 wiggly lines that come to a point at the top. This is an excellent opportunity to practice your drawing skills. I would say draw anywhere between 6 to 9 seaweed shapes, and then carefully cut them out. And then you're going to need to get a large sheet of paper, preferably a black sheet of paper, but you can pretty much use any color you want, including white. If you don't have large sheets of paper at home, you can always glue or tape together 2 regular size sheets of paper to make one big one. Get out your fish and dot, dot, not a lot, glue on 3 or even all 4 of your heart shapes on the back, of course. Hold those heart shapes down onto the paper somewhere on the upper right corner to get that fish sticking on there real good so it won't fall off in case you want to hang it up. Now, get out all of your seaweed. Dot, dot, not a lot on the back of the seaweed, and place them at different sizes about the same distance apart from each other all along the bottom of your paper. So far, so good, but we're not quite done yet. Since you already know how to create a fish, I challenge you to find a smaller lid, a smaller cup, and create a smaller fish. You already know how to do it. So go ahead and create a smaller fish. Glue that onto your large piece of paper somewhere on the upper left side of your large sheet of paper. You can then get out a white crayon or a white colored pencil. Draw circles in front of your fish's lips. Those circles, of course, represent the bubbles because they're underwater. And then, to help emphasize and create that look of movement, lightly draw some wavy lines. Don't draw on top of your fish or on top of your seaweed, but just lightly draw some wavy lines in the background. And you've done it! You've done it! You've created an amazing looking work of art using 2 3D fish. You use lines, you use shapes, and they come together perfectly to create this wonderful work of art. Great job!